reason. This is because of the official 991 windmills within the country, about 397 of them are used for draining purposes.
Olá a todos, sejam bem-vindos a mais um vídeo nesse canal. Nós somos cidadãos do terceiro mundo e nesse canal nós reagimos e aprendemos a coisas sobre o primeiro mundo. E nesse vídeo nós vamos reagir a mais 10 fatos surpreendentes sobre a Holanda.
Bom, portanto, considere se inscrever em nosso canal, clicar no gostei, compartilhar esse vídeo, deixar mais sugestões nos comentários. E agora, vamos para a reação.
All around the planet Earth, there are many different places that make them unique in the world. And as we discover more about these great places, we find a story that some may have never heard of before, but may have similar themes with it. And these themes are generally of peace, struggle, growth, demise, happiness, and even dark times. And today on FTD Facts, we are looking at a country that is not only beautiful within its people, but warm with heart in its culture. Welcome to the world of the Netherlands. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to FTD Facts. Now, my name is Dave Walpole, and yes, today we are talking about the Netherlands, and I'm really excited for this because, well, first of all, we've talked a lot about many different countries in Europe and around the world, and actually, guys, if you want to learn about more places, well, I'm going to throw some cards in this video. You can just look up and go, hey, wait, that one looks appealing, I'm going to click on that one. Or just wait till the end of the video because we got some other cool stuff that you can learn from as well. Now, speaking of which, if this is your first time here to the channel, and you love learning about cultures and people and communities from around the world, well, you want to hit that subscribe button because that's what we do. And on top of that, we also listen to you guys, and that's a good thing for a YouTube channel. So be sure to let us know what future countries you want us to, talk about in the future. So put them down there in the comment section below. But let's get started talking about Netherlands now that we've got all that out of the way. Now, the first thing that we gotta mention is a lot of people call the Netherlands Holland. But that's not actually the real name. Holland actually refers to two provinces within the country, which are also some of the biggest provinces, and that is North and South Holland.
Wow,
however, for some people within the Netherlands, if you were to actually say, hey, yo, you're from Holland, some people might actually get offended by that because it's really not a correct term. But as for the term Holland, where it came from, scientists actually think that it actually happened after 1813 when Holland was removed from France and restored to the Netherlands. Now, one thing when it comes to the Netherlands, it actually does have a meaning, and it means the lower country. Now, that doesn't mean it's a lower country as in the people within the country are treated lower than other people around the world. No, it just literally means it's like on a height difference, it is a lower country because first of all, it's flat and a good chunk of it is actually underwater. And one thing that makes the terrain of Holland really quite popular is that because it's flat, it is known all around the world for cycling and walking. And if we were to talk about land size, we should probably talk about the fact that it is a size of 41,543 kilometers square. And when I did say a lot of it actually has to do with water, well, about 18.41% of it is actually water. And when it comes to all this water, believe it or not, only 50% of its land is over 1 meter above the water level. Now, let's dive a little deeper into the flatness of the Netherlands and its water level. Now,
nossa, eu tô chocado com essas informações. Primeiro, eu não sabia que Holanda não era o nome correto, então a gente pede desculpas que a gente realmente não sabia. Aqui é muito comum a gente se referir à Holanda, né? E todas essas informações sobre bicicleta, nossa, incrível. Isso é incrível, porque isso é muito sustentável, né?
É verdade. Inclusive, nós já percebemos o quanto eles gostam de utilizar a bicicleta.
Isso é maravilhoso.
Sim, isso é muito bom, porque além da questão de ser algo que você não prejudica a natureza, também tem simplesmente o fator de você praticar um exercício.
Sim, é verdade.
Isso é excelente, porque você une o útil ao agradável.
Com certeza.
you might have heard back in World War II during Operation Market Garden when the American paratroopers tried to land in Holland that the Germans flooded the areas and the fields. Well, now, this wasn't the fact that the Germans were like just going around with buckets of water and just throwing them all over the land hoping to, you know, flood the whole region. No. This is because what the Germans had done is they simply removed the dikes that prevented water from reaching the lands. Now, these are actually called polders, which are quite common in the Netherlands, where they build up small areas called a dike to prevent water from coming in and flooding the lands for agriculture. And the crazy part is this has been happening since the 16th century, and some of these dikes are really old. Now, one thing that's also tied to this is windmills. Now, you might think that windmills within the Netherlands, they're used for agricultural purposes. Well, most of them are, but actually some of them are used for a much different reason. This is because of the official 991 windmills within the country, about 397 of them are used for draining purposes. Now, keep in mind, guys, that is an official estimated number because they say there's easily over 1,000 windmills, and a lot of them date back to over 1850 when they were first built. So now that we've got water and all of that out of the way, let's dive into the population. Now, the Netherlands has a population of approximately 17,170,000 people, ranking 66th in the world. And surprisingly, this country is actually quite packed out of most countries in the world, because it has a population density reaching 414.1 people per square kilometer. And actually, if you don't include the water levels, it equals over 507 people per kilometer square.
Wow.
And because of that, its population density ranks 30th in the world, and it is so populated that only countries like Bangladesh and South Korea and Taiwan have bigger populations with a higher density. And of this population, let's take a look at the biggest regions within the country and, of course, the capitals and cities.
Eu acho surpreendente o uso dos moinhos. Torna o ambiente muito diferente. É uma característica que a gente vê que faz parte desse país. Moinhos existem em outras partes do mundo, mas nada se compara com o que a gente vê na Holanda. No Brasil mesmo, esse tipo de moinho, eu acho que são poucos lugares que tem muito pouco. Eu particularmente, não me lembro de nenhum.
Eu também não. E eu achava que esses moinhos na Holanda era uma coisa que era tipo algo da cultura deles mesmo. Eu não sabia que tinha ali, né? Que ele servia pra alguma coisa. Eu realmente achava que ele tava ali porque é uma coisa muito bonita, faz parte da cultura deles. Mas realmente eu desconhecia isso totalmente, né? Que doido isso.
First of all, Amsterdam is the capital of the country, and it is filled with over 200 different diverse nationalities in the city, making it one of the most diverse capitals in the world, let alone Europe. On top of that, it has a population of 821,000 people, with Rotterdam coming in second at 623,000, and The Hague coming in at over 514,000 people. Which I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard of a big city with the word "the" before. That seems to be pretty much original for me. Maybe not, but if you guys know other cities that start with the word "the," let me know down there. However, when it comes to populations by provinces, South Holland comes in number 1, having over 3.6 million people, followed by North Holland with 2.7, North Brabant with 2.4, and Gelderland with roughly over 2 million people. And although North Holland and South Holland may have the most people, Friesland is the largest province with 5,748.75 kilometers square, Gelderland coming in second at 5,136.19 kilometers square, and North Brabant coming in at 5,081.77 kilometers square.
Uau, realmente as imagens são incríveis. O país é muito, muito bonito. Desde o primeiro vídeo que a gente já fez da Holanda, né, que é em relação sobre esse visual grande, que é muito bonito que a Holanda tem, é algo realmente de se impressionar, porque não é apenas a questão das casas, das construções, mas isso cria uma harmonia incrível com a natureza e torna todo o ambiente muito bonito.
É verdade, é um país que a questão urbana e natural, né, da natureza está muito integrada, e isso é muito bonito porque cria um cenário muito diferente.
Okay, so we got the basics out. Let's talk about some cool, unique facts about the Netherlands that some other countries do not have. Now, did you know that Dutch is not the only official language of the country? They actually have more than 2. Because when we were talking about the province of Friesland, it also has its own official language, known as Frisian, as well as there's other languages such as English and Papiamento. Now, papiamento might sound Latin, but it actually has Portuguese roots. And the reason for this is because the
Wow.
Netherlands also owns islands in the Caribbean, such as Bonaire, Sint Eustatius, and Saba. And you may wonder why I didn't mention places like Curaçao and St. Martin, because they both have huge Dutch influences there as well. This is because the islands of St. Martin, Curaçao, and even Aruba are listed as autonomous countries of the Netherlands, basically meaning they have freedom from an external authority. And as for St. Martin and Curaçao, they were granted this in 2010, whereas Aruba was the first island to be granted this from the Netherlands in 1986. Now, you may have also flown or at least heard of KLM flights. And not only is it a Dutch company, but it is also one of the oldest continuous flight companies still in operation today. The Royal Dutch Airlines was founded in 1919 when a young aviator named Albert Plesman put on a flight exhibit, and it gained interest and investors to form a company. And this company actually became Royal Decree because back in the day, Queen Wilhelmina made the company a royal predicate. And as for its first flight, it took off on May 17, 1920, with its first international flight happening only 4 years later on October 1st of 1924. And on top of that,
Wow.
you may not know that the Netherlands is one amazing country when it comes to protecting its culture and, most importantly, its nature. The country currently has over 20 national parks, with the largest being the Oosterschelde National Park with over 370 square kilometers and a shoreline running the length of 125 kilometers. And what's really popular about this place is it's a very common place to see seals. However, forgetting its national parks, the country is also home to 10 UNESCO zones and the world's largest flower garden. And that is Keukenhof, which is known as the Garden of Europe. Located in Lees, Netherlands, every year across its 32 hectares, there are easily 7 million flowers planted,
Isso é
with over
mágico.
1.4 million people visiting the grounds as of 2017.
Uau, isso realmente é impressionante. É muito, muito bonito. E a gente pode perceber aqui que essas flores, elas estão concluindo o que a gente percebe aqui, que é uma natureza muito diversa. Né? Isso é incrível, é surpreendente como
Sim.
tudo isso está num país só.
É verdade, isso que eu acho incrível, porque é tipo assim, você quer conhecer muitos lugares com aspectos diferentes, a Holanda é um país pra isso, porque tem muita coisa dentro de um país só, isso é o que mais me impressiona, tipo, é o único país, mas que tem tudo dentro dele, tem tudo pra todos, e isso é uma coisa muito fascinante.
Sim, e eu confesso que eu realmente fiquei surpreendido com o fato da influência da língua portuguesa.
Sim, eu realmente desconhecia isso
So
totalmente.
there you have it, guys. That is just a look at the beautiful country known as Netherlands, and what is truly amazing to learn about it. And unfortunately, guys, when it comes to this great nation, there isn't a lot of time to sum it all up in a 10-minute video of how great this nation is. Now, for us here on the channel, we've done part 2s, 3s, and 4s to many great countries around the world, and if you guys are interested in learning more about the Netherlands, well, let us know by hitting that like button. And with that in mind, I want to know what you guys know about the Netherlands as well. But my name is Dave Welble, guys, and I want to thank you all for tuning in and learning so much about this country. Now, remember, if you guys haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and at the end screen of this video, there's going to be some other videos as well. They're also in the description box. But either way, that is the Netherlands, a beautiful country with loads to offer. A country filled with great history and people of amazing knowledge whom have used their intellect to
Olha,
even
isso
beat
é
back
de
the sea.
tirar o fôlego.
This is the people, culture, and country of the
Wow.
Netherlands, where it may be one of the lowest countries on the planet, but its heart is as big as a mountain.
Incrível, incrível.
Incrível, muito surpreendente. É impressionante como a gente já reagiu à Holanda, mas a gente sempre tem mais coisas para aprender, para conhecer, porque é um país tão rico e tão diverso, é algo muito óbvio, né? A gente não conhece nada, a gente acha que já conheceu, mas na verdade a gente não conhece nada. É incrível.
É verdade, é um país com história fascinante e a maioria dos fatos aqui, se não todos praticamente, Eu não conhecia, então você vê que realmente é um país que surpreende, né? Não só com beleza, mas com toda a história. E é incrível. Os holandeses me parecem serem pessoas incríveis, porque ter um país assim, né? Com políticas assim, com uma beleza, um país tão bem cuidado, é uma coisa fascinante. É reflexo ali das pessoas que estão vivendo ali. E isso encanta qualquer um.
Concordo com o que você falou, inclusive porque o que faz o lugar ser assim são exatamente o trabalho dessas pessoas que moram lá.
É verdade, mas essa foi a reação desse vídeo. Então, se você gostou, deixa aqui embaixo nos comentários. Aproveita também para fazer mais sugestões e se inscrever no canal.
Muito obrigado por ter assistido a esse vídeo e a gente se vê na próxima reação.
Tchau!